Good morning, and welcome to Missoula Real Estate Today. This is Denny Bedard. Missoula Real Estate Today is presented by Diane Beck and Becky Peterson, the Beck and Beck team at Windermere Real Estate. Beck and Beck provide complete service for your real estate transaction and bring you guests who provide interesting information about products and services available in our community. And now, Missoula Real Estate Today on News Talk KGVO. Hey, welcome as always. Great to have you on Missoula Real Estate Today. Hope you are enjoying your weekend. This business was on the show years ago, but we are talking to new personnel members with two men and a truck. We got Marci McEnany, General Manager, and Morgan Gow, CSR. Morgan, I didn't ask you, is that Customer Service Representative or?
Yes, that's
okay.
Customer Service Representative.
CSR. All right, I got it now.
Acronyms.
Yeah. Marci, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Morgan, welcome to you too.
Thank you.
All right, two men and a truck. Well, this is a lot of shop talk. I know things you probably answer all the time, but the get acquainted, what is two men and a truck, and what services do you provide to Missoula and Western Montana?
Well, thank you. We are best known for our moving services, households, office spaces, but really we help anybody that needs help moving just about anything. So we'll move something as small as a couch across. We'll come in your home and move furniture around if you want to redecorate and you just don't have the opportunity to do that. So we'll do all of the above.
Do you get a lot of calls for that?
We do.
That would not have occurred to me.
We do.
Is that you're not really moving from one location to another? You're moving internally, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep. People get new flooring.
Yeah.
Then they call us and we'll empty the rooms for them.
Right.
Sure.
That is a great service. Good spot going on there. Since we are on a real estate show, which is sponsored by Diane Beck and Becky Peterson Windermere, but I mean, realtors in general, your relationships with realtors, where might your paths cross?
Well, really, realtors are kind of the starting point in the backbone of what, the services that we provide. So they're moving, households where people are coming, they're leaving town, they're moving in. And really, it's the housing market, right? So it's either the housing market or they're running leases for different properties around town. I mean, it's kind of all of the above. So there's a lot of that working relationship that has to happen between realtors and two men and a truck, because we're not only helping the customers, but we're also helping facilitate that household move.
Well, and now that you answered, that makes perfect sense, especially if it's somebody new who maybe has moved to town or looking to move to town. Maybe they purchased a property online, off location or whatever. Probably one of the questions that they have is, do you have any suggestions for a mover?
Yeah. And we also, Denny, we have a program where it's our realtor referral program. So we have little gift cards that we hand out to realtors throughout Missoula.
Okay.
And they can give it to their customers and they'll get an immediate $50 off that move.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I know a lot of the realtors in town have them, but if there's some we missed, they can always stop by the office and get them. And it's just free $50 off for their customer.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's kind of a welcome wagon, except it's cash.
Yes. Which is helpful. Moving isn't cheap sometimes.
Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck and Becky Peterson, the Beck and Beck team at Windermere Real Estate here on News Talk KGVO. My guests, Marci McEnany, General Manager, and Morgan Gow, Customer Sales Representative, with two men and a truck. That name, Gals, two men and a truck, it has a nice, small town charm to it. We want everyone to understand that you can handle local moves of nearly any size. But the company's background, was it literally two men in a truck at one time?
It was. Back in the 80s, 1980 to be
Oh, my
exact.
goodness.
Mary Ellen had two sons that were in high school, wanted to make cash. So one summer they had a old, I think, 66 Ford pickup. And they started advertising they would help people move things. And so they worked that summer, and through that summer, the calls kept coming in when they went back to school. So Mary Ellen said, well, is it okay to the sons? Can I just keep this going and hire a couple guys to kind of keep helping the community? This was in Lansing, Michigan.
Wow.
And so that's what she did. And the drawing and the logos that we have on our today was her original logo that she put on the truck, the very first.
Did not realize that it went back that far. So 40-some years then. In other words, wow.
Yeah.
A nationwide company with an emphasis on local. Is that kind of a fair assessment there, would you say?
Oh, well, definitely. I mean, local is obviously our priority. We don't ever limit where we'll go. But, Missoula, surrounding areas.
Sure.
Yeah.
When you say you can customize your moving services to fit unique needs, what are some examples of that?
So we actually have a lot of unique needs in Missoula. During our local moves, it could be something as regular as moving an office or a couch, or we also deal with, the complex needs of everyday lives with people getting separated from each other, or somebody passes away. We have a lot of unique situations that we love to help out with.
Yeah, I mean, really, we cater to what the customer needs us to do.
Yeah.
So as Morgan said, sometimes it's, we may have to go to an apartment and move 2 different roommates to 2 different, places. We'll do that. I mean, it's really kind of how many drop-off locations do you need us to do for you? What do you need us to pick up? If a customer is getting a new couch, we'll go pick up their couch, bring it over to them, and haul out their old couch to donate or to, worst case, landfill. So we do customize to what each individual customer needs, obviously staying within the scope of our abilities. But, yeah, I mean, we're here to help.
Well, even with that, I would think that sounds to me like there's a very one-on-one personal relationship that you try to establish with your customers. Absolutely.
Morgan probably speaks to every individual customer minimum 2 to 3 times. And it's usually about 6 per move. So a lot of communication with the customer, from building the estimate, collecting information, all the way to after the move is complete, getting a follow-up call out there and just asking how we did.
Morgan, do you get any kind of unusual questions when you're going through all those calls?
Yeah, there's a lot of unusual circumstances, just depending on if it's a local move or if it's between states.
A lot of them are probably the same questions every customer, right? What's involved in the training process for your movers? You want to obviously hire a moving company whose crew members have gentle hands, right?
Well, gentle hands, attention to detail, kind. But we have a good training program. Yeah. We've got an online training program, which, is really specific to our industry. So a lot of care in that, and it's called Stickman University. So we have that. We have on-the-job training. We have in-office training. So it's pretty extensive because we don't just throw things in a truck.
Of course not.
There's definitely procedures and safeguards that we have in place to make sure that it's done safely, securely, and your items make it from point A to point B.
And so at Stickman University, you probably learn the correct order of things to put in a truck.
Correct order of things, how to place items in a truck. When you're stacking, you don't just fill every crevice. You actually put things in a truck so that there's no shifting or tilting while driving down the road. There's a lot of things to consider when you're loading someone's household into your truck.
What about the trucks themselves? I imagine that you have invested a fair amount to make sure that they are really good for one thing, and that they suit not only your needs but your customers' needs.
Yeah, absolutely. The nice thing about they're all 26-foot trucks. And the nice thing about that is that there are a lot of places in Montana, roads, driveways that the larger trucks can't get to. So it's the perfect size to hold a great deal, but not too big that you can't take those corners down those Montana roads that sometimes are more of a challenge for bigger trucks.
Right. Skilled driving, I would imagine that's part of the training process too.
That too.
Yeah.
Yes, very extensive. We're DOT trained drivers as well, so they have certain rules, laws that they abide by, not only being good drivers, but...
Do they have to have a commercial license? Is that...
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
all right,
they're...
all right.
along with our size trucks, we are under the weight limit for a CDL.
Okay, great.
So they do not have that, but of course we still, they're background checked, drug screened, all of the above, still for our driving crew and our movers, everyone, in fact.
I guess I got off on a little bit of a tangent.
Fine.
I'm helping you recruit people now, but just ahead. So I figured I'd ask. Missoula Real Estate today, presented by Diane Beck and Becky Peterson, the Beck and Beck team at Windermere Real Estate here on News Talk KGVO. My guests this weekend, Marci McEnany, General Manager, and Morgan Gow, Customer Service Representative, with two men in a truck. The branch located here in Missoula. I know you mentioned you try to stay fairly local with moving services, but any limits on how far you will go, or any networking if it's a huge move?
Well, there are no limits. We can't go to Hawaii. I know we want to, but we don't cross waters.
You were doing so well right up to that point.
I know.
Wow, what a great company this is, and then bang.
We move all across the state of Montana and cross country. So we've been to the East Coast. We will go anywhere if the need arises for the customer.
All right. Morgan kind of started to answer this question, I think, earlier in the show, but the booking process, what's that like? You get contacted. Hi, I'm moving from here to there. How much is that going to cost? There's a lot of blank spaces you probably need to fill in there, right?
Yeah, so the booking process is pretty fluid. We get contacted by customers and we just have to get the general information, but we also like to know pretty much exactly what we're moving. So some items require a bigger crew size, for example, pianos or gun safes, big freezers, vending machines, things like that. So we need to know exactly what we're moving, and it helps to just, make sure that the customers know what our policies are, because there's also some things we can't move for safety regulations. But the process is pretty fluid, just talking about, the good dates, the times, our crew size, our cost, things like that. And then we check in with that customer multiple times before the day of the move.
So it's really, really important that they give you as detailed a list as possible, maybe the first call through. And invariably, somebody's, I don't care if it's a great big item and it's in the living room, they see it every day. Oh, I forgot to tell you we have this too.
We run into that.
I'm sure.
And a lot of it is, as they're going through the process, then we ask, did we forget? Do you have a barbecue grill out back? Do you have patio furniture? What's on your walls? Mm-hmm. So we spend a lot of time just talking to them, walking through the room, probing, do you have this item? And that just comes from, talking to the customers and knowing what they have. It kind of prompts you to go, well, do you have a TV? Because they see it there, but they aren't thinking that.
Right, yeah.
And the more information you get, the better. We can book someone online. We can, they can go on our website and build their own estimate if they don't want to go over it on the phone. We offer customers to email us a list if they want. I mean, we really try and make it, easiest for the customer, but it's critical that we get the information. And there's a lot of reasons. Sure. One, we want to make sure we have enough space on the truck. We want to make sure that we have a big enough crew to complete their move. It's just really important that we gather as much as we can for moves.
And going off of that, another service that we offer is packing services. So a part of the booking process is if they want us to pack for them, we actually have to do an in-house consultation.
Wow.
So we can go out to them if they're located locally in Missoula, and we'll take photos of everything in their house so that we can get a box count and make sure that we have an accurate amount of supplies to go and pack for them accurately.
I would think, unless I had thought of it ahead of time, that wow, that's a great idea. I would just, since I'm hiring you to pack the truck and make the move, I would just as soon you handle that too, right?
Yeah, and it's a great service, and people get to say, okay, I need to move here, make it happen for us, and we can do that. Yeah, and along those lines, the more information that we collect, the better prepared the crew is also on move day. So we're collecting all the information. We also provide all that information to the crew so that they know what they're coming in and what their job is, what the customer demands are. Everyone is on the same page, and it just makes the move easier, less stressful.
A lot of bubble wrap and sturdy boxes in storage there at Two Men in a Truck.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a great upsell opportunity for you too. That requires a crackerjack customer service rep to say, "Hey, by the way, we can we can pack and do all that for you."
Right there.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck and Becky Peterson. They are the Beck and Beck team at Windermere Real Estate here on News Talk KGVO. And my guests this weekend, Marci McEnany, General Manager, and Morgan Gow, Customer Service Representative with Two Men and a Truck. And also thank you to a couple of Diane and Becky's marketing partners that helped bring you the program. Miles Link at Opportunity Bank of Montana and Rob Fleming with Man Mortgage as we get back to Marci and Morgan here. What advice do you have for your customers in terms of preparation ahead of time? That would obviously save them some time, therefore saving them some money. But I'm sure there's a lot of good preparation, pre-moving suggestions that you can offer.
Sure. The main thing is if you stage the boxes, if you're organized, the more organized you are, that's critical for the crew to arrive and be the most efficient for you. Being packed all the way is always a plus. So that when the crew comes in, they can just focus on the task at hand. Life throws things at you, so we adapt. Mm-hmm. It's not a requirement, but it sure does save you money the more organized you are.
All right, so what happens on the day of the move? You show up and get going. What's the step-by-step procedure there? What all goes on?
Yeah, so the crew, we do a dispatch every morning. So the crew sits down, talks about the move, really gets to answer ask any questions that we may not have provided them answers to prior to. And as soon as they do their safety checks on their truck, make sure they've got all their equipment, they call the customer, let them know that they're on the way. They arrive, knock on the door. Yeah. First thing is they walk around with the customer. Tell me exactly what you're feeling today. What's going on? Do you need anything to go first?
That's great.
Really, communication is key.
Questions. Yeah. I suppose if it is a somewhat lengthier move, there's a little bit of a tracking information system shared, right? Hey, we left here, we're here, and that kind of thing. Just kind of let the customers know where their
on
their
longer
stuff
distance
is.
moves,
Right,
absolutely.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. There's a actual track from the time they leave and each stopping destination along the way. So yes, and it's a dedicated crew, so they never lose track of their shipment.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about some of these, besides the quantity of items, of course. What are any other major factors that can affect the cost of a move?
Really, it's about organization. It is time. So maybe long walk paths, or say that the walk isn't shoveled, so it's really icy. So therefore, the crew has to move slower, which would then cost you money. It's just a matter of obviously being as prepared as possible. But we don't have a lot of shock. This is going to just blow your estimate. We're pretty close to estimate usually every time. I can't say knock on wood every time, unless something odd comes up. You know what it's going to be before we move you.
I think that's excellent. That's accuracy and preparation. Not trying to somebody blindside or surprise them. Storage solutions, man. It just seems like there are so many storage facilities in Missoula, and they're huge. How are those served to do?
Well, actually, Denny, we have portable units. So we can store your items in the unit on our property. That is one option. But really, the second option is we can bring that unit to you. So if you're doing a new build, you're doing a remodel, even for the realtors on the radio, that are listening right now, if they're needing to stage a customer that's going to move out of state, we can easily, load up those units either on their property or bring it back to the shop, and they can wait until their house sells, load the rest of their items, and move it for them if they need that service. So it's just really flexible to have that portable unit to be able to put it where it needs to be.
Yeah. Are those large units?
They're 16 by 8. They're
That's a
vented.
large storage unit. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, they're good size units.
For sure.
You know, they're secure and you can strap things to the walls. We can move them just like a truck.
Yeah. 128 square feet. Not really important. I'm just showing off my math
That was
skill.
impressive.
Thanks. Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck and Becky Peterson, the Beck and Beck team at Windermere Real Estate here on News Talk KGVO. And my guests are Marci McEnany, General Manager, and Morgan Gow, Customer Service Representative, with 2 men in a truck. Now, we already talked about all the things you do to ensure that items are packed correctly and secure, and you can offer additional services there. Accidents will happen once in a while, no matter how safe and careful you are. If there is a claim, do you feel that is a strength of 2 men in a truck?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we have the drivers operate off of tablets, so they have a program that they immediately have to go in and report that damage with the customer, acknowledging the damage. They talk about it, collect any information on that piece if it is very specific that we can hunt down, and pictures and all.
Yeah.
The customer signs, they know it's been initiated. That immediately comes to me in the office, and within 24 hours, I'm on the phone with the customer working towards a resolution.
I ask every one of my guests about success stories, not just sneaking up on you, not treating you special. Everybody gets asked about that. Any recent, and either or both of you can answer this, any recent job or jobs come to mind that made you especially proud to be with 2 men in a truck?
No specific job for me, but I will say that we're proud to do this job every day. Just helping people get into better houses, better living situations, better circumstances, and ultimately just improve their life in any way that we can is something that we're really proud of.
Very nice. Marci, anything to add to that?
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, we're here to help people. So we get that satisfaction. You asked, you know, what's good about being with 2 men in a truck, and that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Is that people that can't or don't want to do this for themselves, we can do it. And in their satisfaction and completion every day. And they're happy about the help because it is helping them to be able to do this. So
when I was cruising around your website before we came in and did the show, as far as community involvement, 2 Men in a Truck has a Movers for Moms program. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So Mary Ellen, the founder of 2 Men in a Truck, had a soft spot for really charities in general. So when she first started the franchise, the year that she had her first year of actual profit, she made $1,000. And she distributed that $1,000 to...
That was for the year?
For the year.
Okay, all right.
And to 10 different charities, $100 each. So it was always her desire that be one of the foundations of her franchise, to always give back to the community. So we actually, to this day, give 10% of our profits back to the community. That's just our standard.
Okay.
So Movers for Moms is one of those, and it's really neat. We collect basic needs for mothers about a month before Mother's Day. And it could be, we did the YWCA last year. We've done Mountain Homes. But really, it's that month before Mother's Day. And then we deliver all of that to mothers in need.
Wow, that's got to make you feel good, huh?
It really does. You know, we have a lot of programs that we help with the community. Either we're donating our moving services, or we actually donated our trucks to the Hillgate soccer team to use as locker rooms during state.
Oh, man.
So, you know, we like to give back to the community because they're so good to us.
I suppose your reputation starts to precede you. People find out about this. Nonprofits, one nonprofit finds out, they get help, they let another one know. Now they're networking. But
Sure.
Is that how you get most of your requests or inquiries for that kind of thing? Or do you kind of reach out and contact them just saying, hey, by the way, if you ever need us, here's a service we offer, we might be able to help?
You know, it's word of mouth. We hear about things that, you know, Toys for Tots called us for delivery for for their toys for the year. We try and reach out to see if people need help, but it starts to word of mouth. Definitely. We donate the cruise time, delivering for the food bank on Thursdays, for instance. And then somebody from there may mention, hey, I know Two Men in a Truck likes to help the community. So once in a while we get those calls too. But
that is terrific. Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck and Becky Peterson, the Beck and Beck team at Windermere Real Estate on News Talk KGVO. My guests this week have been Marci McEnany, General Manager, and Morgan Gow, Customer Service Representative with Two Men in a Truck. All right, it's your free commercial time here. I guess the whole 29 minutes is your free commercial time, but time to extol the virtues of Two Men in a Truck. Why are you the right choice when it comes to moving?
Two Men in a Truck is the right choice when it comes to moving because it's all about relationship and being personable, and we really care about the people that we're moving, and we really try to put the customer first in every circumstance and just provide the best service that we can.
All right. Anything to add to that, Marci?
Well, we stand behind the grandma rule, so we treat everyone like we would treat our grandma. And so it really does, the more you get to know your customers and their specific needs, we're the right fit.
That's a great answer, too. Anything I missed, gals, you want to make sure we cover before we wrap it up?
No, I just want to thank Diane Beck and the group for inviting us on this show today. Really appreciate their partnership as well. You bet.
Marci McEnany and Morgan Gow with Two Men in a Truck. All the contact information, the website, all of that stuff if we want to get a hold of you folks.
You can look us up on twomeninatruckmissoula.com, which has our phone numbers and all the information that you could possibly need. Or you can stop by the office at 1620 Rogers Street, Suite 2, here in Missoula.
Marci McEnany and Morgan Gow with Two Men and a Truck on this week's Missoula Real Estate Today. Great job. I'm glad you two could come in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for listening to Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck and Becky Peterson, the Beck and Beck team at Windermere Real Estate. For current listings and services Beck and Beck provide, visit movetomissoula.com. That's Missoula.com. We'll see you next time on Missoula Real Estate Today.